and welcome to Fairy Tales and French Knots. I'm Erin, and this is a channel about cross-stitch, where I talk long enough to make my family wonder what I'm up to, but short enough that you can probably watch this on your lunch break. However, today's video may run a bit longer than your lunch, because it is time for the annual WIP parade, recap, Christmas gift haul. Let's talk about everything that's been going on in this great season of gluttony and excess and forgetting what day of the week it is. I hope you've had some time to enjoy some family, some food. If you celebrate a holiday at this time of year, I hope it was a good one. I hope you're wearing pants. Because, you know, some days pants is an accomplishment. So let's start with what I've been up to. And I actually have a small thing to show off that I finished that is not stitching, but is stitching related. So I'm going to start with that. And I did post the video as a short a while back, but I did finish my Dunkin' Munchkins tin. So if you're in the United States, most of the Dunkin' Donuts stores, if you have access to one, sold Munchkins, little donut holes in these tins with the release of the movie. And I finished mine as a sewing box. And right now it looks like this. Take out the things I've already put in it. Oh, wait. So here's the inside. It's lined with sticky back felt that I got on Amazon. All the dividers were made with foam core wrapped in that sticky felt. And then this fabric came from Spoon Flower. I also found this nifty pair of green scissors and a fob that I made myself. These scissors look like swans, and they fit right in here. That. I did not do anything to the inside of the lid. I've thought about putting some velvet on that, decided not to. It would also hold a needle minder just the way it is. I've thought about making a coordinating needle minder of some kind. Haven't done that yet. So that was my finish. And really that was just a bit of measuring and cutting and a little bit of swearing. So we got that done. I didn't get any stitching done, but I think it's time to look at WIPs. So let's do a WIP parade. I apologize if you don't like the sound of zippers, because some of these are still in my project bags. I didn't unzip them all. Poor planning on my part, sorry. But we will show all my WIPs and a couple things that I have kitted and ready to go for the new year. And then I will show you some things I got for Christmas. My family did get me a few stitchy things, so I'll show those off. And that'll be it. Good to go, right? So let's start with what's been sitting over here next to me for every video just off camera, which is Sea Hag by Plum Street Samplers. That is all that is done. Yeah, it is on a piece of 40 count Fiber on a Whim latte, I believe is the fabric, and I did floss substitutions for things in my stash, but I have to obviously finish, drop it in my lap, and then finish both the top and bottom. It's in the scrolls. This is the middle, the ship is in the middle, so there's probably, I'd say I'm maybe 30% of the way done with that. So there's some work to be done there. Put him right back there off camera. The next piece that I have is from the Laurel Witch. and I don't know if she still designs and sells her patterns, but she used to be on Instagram. And this is a pattern called the Forest Gnome Magic. And it is a little gnome girl with the forest behind her. And it has a verse on it. I don't have a printout of the pattern handy. Actually, I do, but it's black and white. It says, on a calm and quiet day in the forest of your mind, look for the magic that surrounds you. So there's the black and white picture. And here's what I have done. I just love her hat. It's so bright. And this is another, I think this is a 32 count scrap of something that I had in my stash. It's being used. That makes me happy. So I've got that one. That one has made some progress this year. I think I did the trees and the things kind of to the side of her earlier this year. Also this year, I've been working on Bluebell by Nora Corbett. And here's my progress on that. Again, maybe 20 to 30% of the way done. She's not incredibly big, but I haven't done anything in her wings, and her skirt does come way out and around. There's some big patches of these almost white light blues. So, and obviously she's headless and footless, so there's some work to be done there. There's that. Next up is Redbird by the Courtney Collection. This one, maybe I can show it in the bag. Yeah, I can. Getting there. I worked on this while I was at a retreat earlier this year, and there isn't a whole lot left. It's on a 40 count scrap that I had in my stash, and I swapped out all the needle necessities, which is what I think it was charted for. I swapped into Victorian Motto Sampler Shop threads. So there's that. That's Redbird. The next piece is called Three Maids A-Sailing, and this is from one of those old Vanessa Ann books, not the annual holiday books, but I think it was one called, looking at my shelf here, An American Sampler from the late 80s. And I started it after StitchCon 2023. So it's been neglected. And here's where that is. So what it is it's these three girls in boats, and all of their sails look like quilts. So there's the first one. That one's mostly done. Then you've got this second quilt here, and the third one is real small. So I think that little bit of red over on the side here is the bandana on the girl in the second boat. So I've got a ways to go on this. Let me see real quick. I did not prepare for this. I was too busy, eating leftovers and doing laundry and having no clue what day it is. So yeah, there is a picture of it when it's finished. And the problem with this pattern is that it is a color pattern with no symbols. I'm pretty sure. Let me check again. I know it's a color pattern because I tried to copy it. Yeah, it's a color pattern with some symbols, but not enough symbols. And it uses like 3 shades of blue. So it's really hard to tell which one you're working with. And I made some choices. I wrote it on my photocopy, and it's just been really hard to work with. I really do like it. Hard to work with. So that is Three Maids A-Sailing, and that one could get done. It really could. Actually, any of these could get done because there are very few patterns here that have, you know, like barely started progress. Everything has been touched multiple times since it was started, and progress is visible. So there's that. This one is a little more recent. You've seen this one. This is Ginger from Stacy Nash. And that's how far I got before, during, and after the Jingle Ball. So she still needs the rest of her head, her feet, her little house, but she's getting done. And I think when I do get her done, I will probably finish her, like fully finish her, because I really like that project. I just put this away for a while because that's what we do, right? We start things and then we put them away and think, I'll come back to that in a week or two or next month. And now it's in a pile. I also have in my stash of things Seaside Angel, which is a Marbeck design. And here is the pattern. I don't love angels, so I'm stitching her without her halo and wings. There are a ton of blends in this green color. I'm not sure about the purple. Oh yes, there are blends in the purple. And oh, the green of her sleeves is all blends. Yeah, this was designed in 2000. Pattern is copyright 2000. So, you know, the heyday of blended DMC colors. There are also quite a bit of, is it Krynic, or it might actually not have been Krynic. It might have been, hang on, looking at pattern. There it is. Nope, it's all Krynic, but some of it is Krynic that's no longer made or has been renumbered. So finding it has been a challenge, and I hate working with it anyway. So, and it's also used not as a blending filament, but over top of some of the cross stitches in places to like give definition to flowers and shells in her robe. And I'm almost tempted to just leave it off. But here's where she is. Oh, she doesn't even fit on camera. So I've got from her head down to the bottom of her skirt. And this is a fabric from Sunny Dyes, which I don't think they are a company anymore. But at the time, they did these fabrics that this was called Sky, Sea, and Sand. So I really like the idea of making her look like she's walking on the beach. And that's been coming along. It's just another one of those that getting her out, getting her on a frame, getting started is the hurdle. And when there's other things that are more accessible, she stays in the project bag. So we'll set her down for a moment. So that's Seaside Angel. Here, I'm not sure what's in this bag. Oh, yes. This would be Ruskin's Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery, which says, one can't be angry when one looks at a penguin. And I did it on this fabric that I thought looked like Northern Lights. And you can see I've kind of jumped around. And I can see by looking at the back that I started, because it's all stitched with overdyed flosses from Roxy Floss Co. And I started doing the cross every stitch as you go, like you do with overdyed flosses. And then I realized that with a white and a black that don't have huge amounts of variegation or color change to them, there's no point. So I started stitching just regular, like I'd stitch with DMC. And this one could definitely get done pretty quickly because There's the finished piece. Really all I have left to do are, well, most of the border, but I have a good chunk of the center done. A couple of the snowflakes are finished. The penguins are outlined enough that I should be able to fill them in pretty quickly. So maybe this one needs to become my bedtime stitching, because this is a 28 count fabric and I should be able to work on that, you know, at night as I'm getting tired. It is a dark 28 count, but it's a 28 count. So oopsie. So that was Ruskin's Penguins. Over here, I just have this in my pile. This is a Secret Sky by Modern Folk. I don't think I've touched this at all this year. It's pretty. It is on a 36 count, and I'm using a DMC color blend. What were they called? Hang on. One moment, please. Yes, I am using DMC. Is it Coloris? One of their color. It's 42 something or other. It's one of the 4200s, and it's right there. It's like a purple and blue variegated 4240. It is not metallic. It is not rayon. It is cotton dyed variegated floss. So, and that piece, if you have never seen it, again, I have a pattern in here. However, I discovered that it is available or it can be opened in Pattern Keeper and works wonderfully there. So here is what it looks like when finished. And I'm up to, I have finished this guy and most of this and part of this. So I think when I loaded it into Pattern Keeper and looked at it, I'm right around 45 to 50% done, because I've finished the verse and everything below it, and now I'm starting to get up towards the top part. I did stitch the verse in Classic Colorworks Cherry, possibly. It's red. I know it's red. Let me just get this tucked back in here. But yes, the red that I'm using is Classic Colorworks. No, Crescent Colors, Manor Red. So that is the verse right here is all done in the red. And then the rest of it in blue. There's also one of the motifs has a heart in it, like up here someplace. And I'm going to do that in red as well. So that is Secret Sky. I have found that the things I have on scroll frames feel a bit more important to finish, because I load them on the scroll frames, I get them nice and tight, and I don't want to take them off. So it's either finish them or let them languish on the frame. Another one that I've been working on is Stone Creek, which is the little thing I picked up off the freebie table at, what's that thing I go to? StitchCon. Yes, StitchCon. So this was picked up at StitchCon, and there it is. I have a random broken thread hanging off the front. I have more broken thread up here. I obviously got annoyed with this piece and just stuck it in its bag. Bad piece. Bad. But this is a teeny tiny little frame. This is the little, like, the 4-inch spreader bars. And it was a kit that didn't have any fabric in it when I found it. This is what it looks like when it's done. And my goal, or my plan when I started it, was to do a frame with a cutout of Mr. Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and put him, like, stick him to the mat right in here. Although his thing was not a stone bridge, it was a lamppost. So I think that might be part of why this has migrated to the bag and not come back out. I kind of thought, on that idea. We'll see. I say that a lot. We'll see. We'll see. I sound like my mother. So there's that. What I've been working on since Christmas is this, which is Monster Bubbles Strawberry Fields. Oh, I have to take it out of that. But this is my Steno Stitches project portfolio, where I've got all the flosses that I'm using. So pretty. And what I've got, this is stitched on banana oil purple. And there's what I've got so far. So it says across the top, nothing is real and nothing to get hung about goes along the side. And then over here on this side, Strawberry Fields Forever goes all the way up. So I still have a ways to go on that as well. I think, according to Pattern Keeper, I'm 25% of the way done with that. And I showed it to my mom last night or the night before. She's a big Beatles fan. And it was so funny because she's like, get hung about strawberry? What? And I said, how can you call yourself a Beatles fan, Mom? And then she goes, oh, it was cute. I turn that tablet off every time I go to record a video, and it always makes that noise. It's a very rude tablet. So that was Strawberry Fields. And the thing I've been working on right before I started this video is Father Christmas's Village by Cosford Rise. I'm doing this on a 40 count sheep straw, and I converted it into Vicky Clayton silks. As I told someone in an online chat, or maybe I said it in a video, I don't know. Again, cheese, December 30, 40, 20, 30th. I don't know. Anyway, anytime you can stitch with colors called Wall of Lies and Sins of Omission and Tarts Knickers, you should. That's all I have to say about that. So yes, there's my progress on that. Today I finished off this red flower. That's Poison Cup, if you were wondering. I did this flower here, Wall of Lies. And I worked a little bit on, I think, some of this border here. Color was not as intriguing a name as the others. That's what I've been working on there. So those are my big WIPs. I have a feeling there are more WIPs hiding around this house. But those are the ones that volunteered to come out and show off their shame tonight. I know that actually World of Hedgehogs is still in my desk drawer at work. So obviously I'm not working on that over break because I'm not going to work until Monday, January 5th. Yes, 5th. So that's going to sit for a while. I think there's a Santa Claus around here someplace that I was working on. There are other things that are kitted but not started, and we're actually going to talk about those here in a minute. So, I can't say that I've made a lot of progress this year. Well, I have, because I finished the Forget-Me-Not sampler. I finished Simple Gifts. I know I finished a small here and there. So you know, I have made progress this year. I just keep starting more things. But that's what we do. And that's okay, because I've seen the remnants of other stitchers' stashes and WIPs and FFOs, and it's not going to matter. I'm doing what makes me happy now. So there's that. And things I have kitted, which I had 3. As I was going through my my WIP storage, I found these. They're already, you know, fully kitted with fabric, ready to go. So I could start them for a New Year's start. That's it. Yes, whatever's coming. Yeah. So first of all, in this cute little bag, which I got at the thrift store for $1.99, and made me happy because it has all these nifty books, and it's plasticky. In here, I had Smog's Erebor by Tempting Tangles, which was a mystery stitch along that I didn't purchase until the mystery was over. I don't have fabric with this one right now, but there's the pattern. And here are the Dinky Dyes silks that it came with. So that I could start, you know, just have to find a fabric. And since it is round, I'm tempted to, well, I have a couple round frames. So I'll have to take their measurements and check the dimensions of that pattern and see what fits with the frames I have. So, and I'm sure that's why there's no fabric in there right now. So there's that. In this bag, which I had completely forgotten about, we have Andromeda, the Chained Maiden from Whispered by the Wind. And I have the metallics because I bought them at StitchCon last year. And I have all the flosses in a box, like it's a double-sided box, and it's the one that has Bluebell's flosses in one side, has Andromeda's in the other. And here is the fabric that I was going to use. I believe it is called Medusa. I could be wrong because at this point I have cut the label. I've, again, had it all ready to go. I think I may have even started it, and I had a problem because I didn't have the right size frame or Q-snap for it. I put it together. I started stitching. My stitches felt really messy. It made me angry, and I took them out. As you do. So there's that. And this one in this cute owl bag, which I'm pretty sure I picked this up on the freebie table at StitchCon too. I don't know why. It's because I love bags. That's why. And here is this little piece from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Actually, it's not from With Thy Needle and Thread. It is from Brenda Gervais before she was With Thy Needle and Thread. It's called A Tisket, a Tasket. It's a little bird, and I have a little blue speckled bowl. So I want to make the little bird a topper for the blue speckled bowl. And I have a piece of 40 count in here. I have all my flosses on a ring. I even have a hoop and a pair of... Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? I have a pair of my my Ginger scissors in here with everything. So this, there is no reason, well, there's no needle, so there is a reason not to start it. But other than that, it's all good to go. So, you've now seen all of my 1, 2, 3, 10, 12 WIPs or so. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 or 3 more hiding in places. When I find them, I'll show them to you. Like, I know that Dirty Annie's Arrive Late is downstairs, and it still needs some border stitching done on it. But that'll be quick, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my WIPs. If you're inspired to start any of them, or if you, hey, I don't know, maybe you've got one or two of these started already, let me know. And we'll do a little like encourage along, not a stitch along. That's too high stress, but I will encourage you to work on yours, and you can be like, yay, Erin, go on yours too. And that might get me, you know, a night or two of stitching, right? In all honesty, I will say, I think one of the reasons I don't stitch on some of these as often as I plan to or think I should is that I'm a fabric miser. And I will cut my fabric to be just the right size to do whatever finishing I want done. Like I will leave, you know, 2 inches all around for framing. Or if I think, oh, I'm going to do an ornament with this, I don't need big margins. I cut it really tight. And it doesn't fit in any of my frames, hoops, Q-snaps, anything without either, you know, stretching out of shape or, you know, ending up with crushing stitches over things. So I get really upset about that. And I know it doesn't matter. I mean, if something gets crushed under a hoop, you take it out. Well, first off, you don't leave it in the hoop for days and days and days. And when you're all done, you press it between 2 towels and everything poofs back up and everything is fine. But at the same time, I go, oh, I don't want to crush it under a Q-snap. And so I hem and haw, and I think, well, if I can't work on it for at least the whole day, there's no point. And so I don't work on it. There it is. So maybe that should be my New Year's resolution, which is when I start something new, don't worry about how much fabric you have, you know, left over. If it's the right piece of fabric for this piece, and there's no more left for, you know, that other piece that you haven't even figured out is out there yet, don't worry about it. Be generous with your fabric cuts. You, meaning me, have an entire shelf full of 40 count, 36 count, 28 count, and 32 count. Stop. Just use it. Okay, so let's talk about gifts and stash. And so this is where I'm going to do that. If you don't like to see those things, that's okay. Bye, bye, bye. And thanks for stopping by. I don't encourage people to buy anything or, you know, get any endorsements for any of the stuff I have. So I try to keep this pretty low stress. My family got me a lotion bar from, I think from Lindy Stitches. They also got me the hair clip with the little cross-stitched heart on it. I will say, if you are considering buying that, the clip is tiny. I have a lot of hair, and the little clip, I don't have it here with me, it won't hold very much of my hair. So I was a little bit disappointed, but it didn't have measurements on it, and it isn't anyone's fault. It's just the way the product is made. The other thing, and this is entirely me, is that it is not made for left-handed people, because the clip has to go this way on, and if I tried to put it on with my left hand, it would be upside down. Think about it and you'll understand what I'm saying, because it's true. It's the same reason I take necklaces off and take the necklace off the chain and flip the chain around and put, you know, flip things that way. It's a weird left-handed thing. It's okay though. I could still maybe like stick it in the side of my hair, the clip. That's, yeah. Okay. So I got those 2 things. I also got 2 patterns from Not Forgotten Farm. One of them is the Witch's Garden Sampler. This is the worst picture ever, but what it has is a list of, even I can't read it from here, things that would grow in the witch's garden: henbane, mandrake, catnip and rue, mugwort, myrtle, feverfew, I think. and then a verse about come sit in my garden, and eventually, yeah. uh, the verse is it starts out with come sit in my garden and plant things, and then eventually it's got the little you can kind of see it here, the little corpse at the bottom saying the standard, as you are now, I once was, as I am now, you soon shall be, that kind of thing. So anyway, I just think that's cute. It's kind of dark and creepy, but not overly dark and creepy. And I also got the Words to Live By pattern and the little bed that goes with it. So you can make the little mattress and the pin pillow and then put them in the little bed with its little spool feet. It's so cute. So I have that. And that was all the stitchy stuff that I got for Christmas as gifts. Things that I bought for myself. Just a few things. I did buy a piece of the Jingle All the Way linen from Lap and Loops from the Jingle Ball, and that arrived. Such a pretty color. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it, but I have it, and I will not be a miser with it. I will cut a piece that is big enough to fit in the frames that I have, the Q-snaps or whatever. It will be good. So I have that. This was a piece of fabric that I bought on a Facebook group 3 months ago. 2 months ago? Anyway, it never arrived. And the seller actually refunded me the money because I chose to have it shipped without tracking, but she's a decent person. I'm an honest person. It hadn't arrived. I told her. She refunded me. And then yesterday or the day before, after Christmas, anyway, this is in my mailbox. So I let Susan know. I sent the money back to her. All is well. But this is a 40 count flaxen from Dixie Sampler. And I just love Dixie Sampler fabrics. And this is 13.5 by 18. So it's a good size piece of fabric. Could work really well with that Witch's Garden sampler. Anyway, and then this was my impulsive find, and it started with me wanting a creepy purple color. And when I searched Etsy for that, I found Velvet Goth, and I went, ooh, which is this color. Wait, let me see if I have something white. Put it against. So there it is. It's a purpley black and brown variegated thread. So I ordered that, and I ordered 2 other colors called Bruised Sky and Rotten Bouquet. So Bruised Sky is this, and Rotten Bouquet is this. And all 3 of these are from a store called Norgrove Enterprises. And they have some really unique stuff. Kind of on the weird side. I like the weird side, so I ordered them. So those were the 3 flosses I ordered. I also ordered from them a dyed towel for my daughter for swim team, because the colors it were pretty much her school colors in tie-dye on a towel. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I got that. I also ordered on Etsy for my daughter a over the garden wall sweatshirt. And I got sucked in by one of those drop ship from China, not really a handmade thing sales. And my items never arrived. They never even shipped. And I canceled the order. I went through all kinds of hoops with the seller and Etsy, and it really made me not want to order from a lot of Etsy shops. That said, I do know which ones are good. And looking for fandom stuff on Etsy can very quickly lead you down those kind of rabbit holes to shops that aren't really shops and aren't the most reputable of sellers. Cross-stitch patterns that are PDFs, that's a whole other ball of wax. But some of these, like, you know, not licensed design inspired by whatever. Yeah. So anyway, I ended up with $40 in Etsy credit. I went back to Norgrove Enterprises because, first of all, I wanted floss to put with table gifts, and they had mystery packs of all the colors they had dyed for the year with, like, you know, the leftover bits. So I got a couple of those for a few bucks. But they also had, and I had seen this when I was looking at the towels and such, they had this floss palette called Path to Lothlorien. I'm a nerd. I love Tolkien and all of those storylines. Oh, one of the pieces that I have fully kitted and could start for New Year's is Modern Folk Embroidery's Namari Tapestry. Yes, maybe that's what I'll start on New Year's. Anyway, sorry, tangent. These are the Path to Lothlorien flosses. And I actually ordered 2 palettes so that I would have enough for a thing. I don't know what that thing is, but I have enough. So I ordered those with my credits. I had a few more credits. I decided I needed a green, so I picked Simply Sansevieria, which is just fun. And I was also looking for a red-pink kind of variegated floss for one of the designs in Dee's 20 Stitches Stitch for Pride 2025. Oh no, I have not finished that. I know. We're like 3 days from 2026. There is no 2026 Stitch for Pride, so, you know, I'm under absolutely no pressure to finish 2025, right? Anyway, I wanted a pink. And in one of the floss packs they had called their Pansexual Pride palette. I love all 3 of these colors, but I especially like that pink for one of the floral-ish designs in the 2025 Stitch for Pride. So it does not have a color. It's just a really cool color. So I have that. And I had $40 in credit, people! The final thing I picked up was... They don't do a lot of dyed fabric, but this was called Pastel Mermaid Scale, and it's an 18 count, and it's a little square. It was like $5. It's just cool, and maybe I will use it for one of the Stitch for Pride patterns. I don't know. I just liked it. I don't even stitch on Ada that often, and I still liked it. So... that was my stash acquisitions. I will link Norgrove Enterprises Etsy shop below. I get nothing out of doing that except enabling you, because they don't know I'm doing it. They just have really cool flosses. They are really neatly packaged. They came all tied up in dyed silk ribbon, and they came with a little sticker, and it was a nice transaction, especially after the crap I went through trying to get my daughter a sweatshirt. And the final thing I got, this was from my mother, and maybe I'll link to this shop because I know she got this on Etsy too. This is a shop out of Canada that makes pottery and dishware into jewelry, and it's called Transformed transformed jewelry. So she's on Instagram too. But this is what my mom got for me. It's Miss Tiggy Winkle. Miss Tiggy Winkle, who does the laundry of all the animals on the farm. And she's a hedgehog. So, it's so cute. I was just thrilled. And it was funny because my mom called me and said, well, you're not getting a Christmas gift. And I said, what? And she said, well, I ordered that necklace that you had put on your wish list, because I share my Etsy wish list with my mom. And I said, oh, what happened? And she goes, well, I think it got lost in the mail. And what had happened, and I know this because I ordered a bracelet from this seller before, actually before my grandmother's funeral. I ordered a bracelet that was done with my grandmother's Pyrex pattern. So what happened was she ships her items wrapped in tissue paper in a little bubble envelope, like tiny and flat. And the guy at my mom's small post office said, you know, maybe it got stuck in a magazine or in the bag you put your mail in when you get it from the mailbox. But it did come here. And so my mom opened a case with Etsy, with the seller, with the post office, thinking it was lost. And when she talked to me, she said, you know, I think your gift got lost somewhere in the post office. Well, she found it. It was in her bag, exactly where the mailman told her it probably ended up. So anyway, I hope you all have holidays like that, where you are surprised by things that, you know, you thought you'd lost. Have a happy new year, and keep being awesome people and make some neat stuff. I'll see you later.